Funny, around the year 2000, a lot of people were talking about how's business going to be done in the new millennium. I don't think the year 2000 was any significant landmark, but there's a trend I isolated back then that I'm trying to get my clients into before their competition. And it comes down to a simple statement. Today's core product, and you can call whatever you sell, whether it be, beer, wine, financial services, whatever, that's your core product. Today's core product is not tomorrow's core product. Today's value-added service is tomorrow's core product. Please understand what I mean by that. Why would you be selling a financial plan that I can get anywhere cheaper, even free of charge from the bank, right? When what you should be selling is everything you do to add value to my lifestyle that's got nothing to do with the plan. I think most people are in the wrong business. Let me give you examples from the real world where this has happened. Let's take the computer industry. The way they used to sell computers 20 years ago was you'd pay an arm and a leg for the hardware and they'd give you a whole lot of software for free. That's how they used to sell computers. Now it's exactly the opposite. Now you pay an arm and a leg for software and applications and the boxes are relatively cheap. Why? Because the only point of differentiation in the whole IT industry is software and applications. Who worked that out? Microsoft, most profitable company in the world. Who failed to see that coming? IBM. Used to be the biggest company in the world. You take the mobile phone market. The first mobile phone you got, if you're old enough, remember in the olden days you'd pay an arm and a leg for the brick, do you know what I mean, back in the early 90s? And they would give you a whole lot of calls for free. That's how they used to sell mobile phones. Now it's exactly the opposite. You can get a mobile handset today of the latest technology for $0 as long as you sign a contract to buy 24 months worth of calls. Why? Because the money's in the calls. It does not mean the phone is free. If you lose it and it's not insured, you pay $900 for a new one, Nokia and Apple make their money. What the industry has said is we'll take a loss on the one-off sale to make money out of the ongoing sales because the calls are the core product, not the phone. Why is the mobile phone industry so dumb? It encourages disloyalty. You do your homework at the end of your 24-month contract. It's actually cheaper for you to get a brand new mobile phone for $0 from a different carrier than it is to get a new battery for the mobile phone you're totally happy with. They'll charge $120 for that. You take the gymnasium industry. One of the most lucrative targets of the gymnasium industry are young mothers trying to get their figure back after having a baby. The gymnasium that offers child mining does better than the gymnasium that doesn't. And a lot of people say child mining, what a wonderful value-added service. No, the child mining is the core product. Those women want to get away from their screaming kids, and if they have to exercise, they'll do it. You know, it's exactly what happens, right? Yeah. As men, we are similarly targeted. As men, we hate accompanying our wives' girlfriends when they're going shopping for clothes and shoes. It takes them 4.5 hours to do what we can do in 20 seconds, right? But every once in a while, we have to accompany them. One of my New Zealand clients told me there's a factory outlet mall in Auckland called DressSmart. One of the retailers in DressSmart has a couch for lost husbands, right? They've got a big sign up on the wall that says lost husbands and they've got a couch there. And they've got a coffee table with magazines on it that blokes like to read. And there's a television there with sport on it. And you know what the husbands say? I don't care how much money you spend. We're going to one shop and one shop only. And that place is making a bloody fortune, right? Your core product, as I was saying before, is the product or service you sell. The value-added services, as I see them, are things like your years of experience, testimonials from satisfied clients, the guarantees you offer, the awards you've won, the range of services that you offer, what you give back to the community, or all of those things that add value to your client that are not necessarily directly the core product. That's the value-added services. And what I'm saying to you now, no, that's your core product. Your core product is what you do to relieve stress and recognise your customer. If you look at what good customer service is in any industry, it comes down to two things: create empathy and preserve ego. That's all there is to customer service. You want to take notes, that covers the whole seminar, right? Create empathy and preserve ego. Make people feel comfortable in your presence, let them walk away without admitting they're an idiot, and the odds are you're going to get their money. If you look at what poor customer service is, it's you got your ego crushed. You walk into a retail store and two people are having a personal conversation instead of serving you, or a tradesperson doesn't turn up on time, or a salesperson doesn't return a phone call. You're not as important as they told you you were in their advertising. Now, the strongest drive we have as human beings psychologically is self-preservation. And that's closely followed by revenge, right? Which means if you treat me badly, I'll get back at you. Now, in the business environment, that's very simple. I'll take my business elsewhere. And I've had people in regional Australia say to me, I'll drive 100 k's to another town rather than buy my car from the local dealer because he makes me feel stupid. The lengths people will go to punish the people who treat them badly is a function of two things. One, how upset you are, and two, what is a substitute? Hence, it's a little easier to give crappy customer service in outback Northern Territory than it is on the coast where there's 100 competitors for what you do within a few square kilometres. Same principles apply. Now, you don't even have to open your mouth to crush an ego. There are systems that crush egos. For example, the best customer service industry in the world is meant to be the hospitality industry, fancy hotels. But there are systems within the hospitality industry that alienate their best customers. For example, what's the first thing they ask you for when you check into a hotel? Talk to me. Credit card. Okay, why do they ask you for a credit card? Because you're a thief, right? That's why they ask you for a credit card, right? In fact, if ever you have time on your hands, you say to the hotel, why do you want a credit card? Initially, they will say it's the hotel's policy. If you argue with them long enough, they'll call you a thief right to your face, right? Now, I don't have a problem with that the first time. I spend my life at hotels. You can stay at the same hotel 10 times, pay your bill every time, and the 11th time you turn up, they still ask for a bloody credit card, right? There is no excuse for that. Believe me, if you knock something off, they've got your credit card number on file. What they should say to you the second time you come back to a hotel, given you paid the first time, is welcome back to the hotel, sir and madam, here is your key. But they don't, because the system is more important than the customer. Now, there's another basic law of psychology that says people act the way you treat them. If you treat people like thieves, they act like thieves. Now, I don't know if you know the rules at hotels. It's very simple. If it's not nailed down, it's complimentary. That's the rule at every hotel. There is another rule that says if you can get it loose, it's not nailed down. Now, I have no trouble knocking off stuff from hotels. They treat me like a thief, I'll act like one. I don't think I have ever paid for tissues in my life. I haven't used a full-size soap since 1984. You know, I take the washers out of the bathroom to clean my golf balls and I throw them away. Oh, they treat me like a thief, I'll act like one. But if ever I go to a regional hotel or a bed and breakfast where they actually treat you like a human being, I'd never touch a thing. I was running a seminar in Ulverston, northwest Tasmania. A lady said she'd been running a bed and breakfast for 24 years. She said she never asked for credit card imprints because that's rude. She said she'd never had a bad debt in 24 years. People fundamentally act exactly the way you treat them. And these things can be turned around overnight. I turned 40 recently, 15 years ago, and had a dilemma that I could either have a party and make 100 people happy, or my wife and I can go to Hawaii and play golf and make me really happy, so that's what we did. So we went to this place called the Sheraton Princeville. Everybody who gets to this hotel is tired. You fly to Honolulu, you take another internal flight, you drive in a rental car halfway around an island. So we get to the hotel and the doorman comes up to the car and I said to him, can you tell me where reception is? And he said, sir, you don't want to go to reception. And I said, look, we don't want to go to reception, but we have to check into the hotel. He said, no, we don't work that way here. They valet parked the car, took the bags. He went to a computer that was outside the doors of the hotel, put my name in and said, you're in room so-and-so. This gentleman will take you to your room. Why don't you relax and unpack, have a drink, and we'll bring reception to you in about 30 minutes. And that's exactly what happened. And the lady came in to check us into the hotel, and I said to her, look, I don't mean any disrespect, but this is a Sheraton hotel. I've stayed at a lot of Sheratons. This is the first hotel in the world where I haven't had to stand in a queue at reception when I'm tired. What makes this place different from any other? And she said, that's what our new general manager thought 18 months ago when he arrived and was tired and changed the system like that. You may not be able to change the whole hospitality industry. You can change the Sheraton Princeville. You may not be able to change your whole industry. You can certainly change the practices that exist within your business. And sometimes it's only when we're our own customer that we realise how poorly our customers have been treated when we're looking in the marketplace.